All right, let me in fact draw in Ambassador Yogesh Gupta, former diplomat who is also joining us now. Ambassador Gupta, what do you make of President Donald Trump's assertions on India and China once again at the UNGA and their purchasing of Russian oil?
Well, the speech of the heads of government or the heads of state at the UN General Assembly, basically it is supposed to convey your point of view or your vision on how the challenges facing the world are to be met, or what is the future of the UN in your view, or how can the UN help in taking the world further. Now, Trump, unfortunately, only disparaged issues like, climate change and, he did not focus on the real issues pertaining to the global community, which are continuing wars, continuing the problem of climate change, the problem of disruption of supply chains, the increasing poverty, the threats to global trade, the tariffs, and so on. So instead of addressing the real issues, Trump indulged in rhetoric about, extraneous issues that India and China are the ones who are prolonging the war. The fact is that Ukraine was ready to respond. Ukraine and Russia were ready to work out a peace agreement in 2022 beginning. Those talks which were held in Turkey, and it's only President Biden and the Prime Minister Johnson of UK. They persuaded Zelensky not to agree to those terms. Otherwise, this war would never have taken place. So United States bears some responsibility for this war. And now, of course, Trump has pulled out completely the U.S., even the weapons that he's giving to the NATO countries for handing over to Ukraine. They are being given a 10% extra cost, to cover the cost for the U.S. to supply those weapons. So Trump is not, taking any responsibility. So he is just only talking. The man is on the USA has not paid.
Questions on China and India once again. Do you believe they could strain ties between the two leaders, or is this just global posturing happening? India has called these comments misguided.
No. I think by now most people have come to know what sort of a chap Trump is, and everybody knows that he's someone who sort of who indulges in extraneous issues. He doesn't addresses the problem. So I won't say these will worsen the ties, but the ties are already bad. The ties between USA and India are already strained. Ties between USA and China are already strained. So what Trump has said will not help, certainly. That will not help, certainly. But I don't think it will worsen the ties, though.
Okay, Ambassador Gupta, now on Trump's comments on the conflicts as well that are on in the world today, like Russia, Ukraine, and the Gaza conflict. What do you make of what he said on these conflicts as well, and the way forward?
No, I think the way forward would have been that the way he was trying to mediate and trying to talk to Russia and trying to bring two sides together. I mean, those efforts should have continued, and instead of changing his statements every now and then, he should have continued with those efforts, and he should have continued to put pressure on Russia. Trump has not done anything to put any pressure on Russia. He is only sort of blaming China and India. What has he done himself? He has done nothing. So similarly on the issue of Gaza, he hasn't put any pressure on Israel. Israel is doing totally what it wants. Unlike President Biden and others before him, he hasn't put any pressure on Israel. So Israel is doing just what it wants. So I'm afraid the positions that Trump has taken, these will not resolve these conflicts or bring peace to these conflicts anytime soon.
Positions, though, taken by countries like France and the UK, they're now recognizing the Palestinian state. That's something, Ambassador Gupta, that Donald Trump is critiquing as well.
is something that it wouldn't have happened ever during President Biden's time. These countries have recognized a Palestinian state because, Netanyahu has gone too far in terms of, killing people. 60,000 or more people have been killed, including many children. And, there is no restraint on Netanyahu. And the people in Gaza are suffering. They are not getting food. They are not, their health is not being attended to. I mean, those people are in a miserable condition, and U.S. has not done anything. U.S. has not
Yes.
helped those people. And so this recognition of the Palestinian state is
Okay.
a last-ditch measures by these countries because there's no way to put pressure on Israel.
Right, right. Let me, in fact, also join Major Sudhakarji, defense expert at this point. Major Sudhakarji, what do you make of Donald Trump's statements on India and China in the context of Russia? Major Sudhakarji, can you hear me? Okay, I think we're having some trouble there with this connection. Let me take that back across to Arvind Tejawat on, of course, the assertions made by the U.S. President. Now, as far as, of course, his posturing is concerned, do you believe once again it can be linked to that Nobel Peace Prize that he so desires? Arvind, can you hear me? Okay, we seem to have lost all our guests, unfortunately. Ambassador Gupta, let me draw you back in here. We are having some issues there with our guests. I'll request our producers to please get them through. Thank you. Let me get you back in here, Ambassador Gupta, on, of course, what Donald Trump now has said on the issue of climate change. What do you make of this assertion by the U.S. President? He's once again, of course, hit out at supporters of policies related to climate change. He's called climate change a global con job. He's also called, of course, for using U.S. sources of energy like fossil fuels.
It's completely crazy. It defies common sense. It is defying the logic which has been accepted by the whole world. We are seeing the impact of climate change everywhere. All these untimely weather changes and so on. Yeah. Yes, you want to say something?
Right, Ambassador Gupta, we can hear you.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is that, something which has been accepted by the whole world and by the people in the United States itself, by the U.S. was a member of this, of the Conference of Parties on Climate Change under President Biden. So it is only Trump who is one person who is not willing to accept it. I mean, it's just something foolish. Nothing more than that. I mean, if the whole world believes in something, if the whole world, after scientific analysis and reasoning, believes that climate change is there for sure, is real, and is adversely affecting our lives and the planet, then it is something which can't be lightly discarded, which Trump is trying to do. It's just foolish.
Yes, absolutely. And also, of course, Ambassador Gupta, just quickly asking you before we let you go on, interestingly, Donald Trump also hitting out at Europe. He's questioned European allies' hypocrisy as well on the Russia conflict, questioning their purchasing of Russian oil as well.
True, Russia has been buying gas Europe has been buying gas from Russia, but so is United States. United States has been buying uranium from Russia, and now it is increasing purchases of edible oil. So, it makes no sense for Trump to decry other countries like...
Okay, I believe Major Sudhakar